All right, my friends, welcome to another episode of Journal Entry. And this one is a long time coming because I'm dubbing it my mini Dark Age because all of March I did not build much of anything. I didn't do any content. Essentially took a little mini vacation from doing anything Lego. It's not like I don't think about Lego and scheme to buy sets, and I also have got big news coming up later this week. We'll do a part two where I give the big news. So you're gonna have to wait. Maybe I'll hint at the end of this video the big news. But essentially, like, what have I been up to? Well, number one, work. I've traveled quite a bit and part of the problem was that in late February, early March, I was having all sorts of technical difficulty with my videos. A couple of them got like destroyed because or glitched out, and then a couple of them my son messed up the mic settings, so then the audio was off. It was just like a total disaster. So between that and then I had two back-to-back week work trips in Denver and to Vegas, and then I did a 9-night Caribbean cruise at the end of March. So Lego was not in the picture, and it really does remind me of how fast, Lego isn't necessarily competing with my mind share, it's competing with my time, and that is the biggest asset. I just find that I'm just tired of, and it's hard to kind of get the motivation to get going. But I have in front of me one of my favorite all-time sets. It's one of the sets that I'm most proud of having in my collection, the Mos Eisley Cantina. And a couple things that I really want to start building my mock again. I haven't broken this down. My plan is to actually semi-insert this into the build in some fashion. I'm going to need to break some of it down to accomplish this. But yeah, it's just I've got a little bit of work to do on my mocks, and so I haven't been putting much into it. I do have a really considerable list of backlogs I'd love to get to. I mean, this was and May the 4th is coming up, so my backlog is going to get even bigger. We've got the T6 shuttle coming up. This set I'm just absolutely over the moon over. The ATTE. I need to get going on this puppy. Because the last video, and I never really finished editing it, was the Clone Trooper Battle Pack. We got that sucker done. But I had all sorts of glitches in the video, so I don't know how it's going to turn out. But if you want my 10-second review of that set, is that if you're into clones and you need battle droids, get a ton of those packs. I'm at least going to get 2 is my plan, maybe even 3. Although, let's talk about what's coming up. Not this week, but next week is going to be May the 1st be with you. And those promos are coming right up. So I will do a segment later this week. I'm going to batch record my thoughts. So today is just mostly all about my Dark Age. But there's a lot to look forward to. May the 1st is getting me kind of hyped. This is the first year where technically I have a budget set aside, and I believe the kind of the perfect sweet spot for purchasing Lego this May the 4th is at $160 of Star Wars, and there happens to be there's a couple combos to get that $160 threshold. So let me know in the comments, what are you doing for May the 1st, May the 4th? We'll see how many folks actually see this video that I haven't posted in a little while. There have been a few new subscribers, so welcome to the channel. Sorry, the content is starting to get a little rusty and moldy, but we're going to kick it up. And I will say, I can't give the secret out. I'm not going to give the secret out. You're going to have to wait to the end. You have to wait. And click a like, wait, all that clickbait type stuff. Why is my desk gotten so dirty? My kids have just completely taken over this is our playroom. I have the corner studio. And I have so much sorting to do. It's just so overwhelming. I think part of the overwhelming piece is I just have so much work to do, and there's just not enough time. And ironically, I think it's the fall and winter, like early winter, is when I have the most building time. And then the other time where I have the most building time is when is technically in the summer, right? Because there tends to be a lot of things going on outside, but then you're too warm, and so then at night you might just kind of have more time to chill. I don't know. It just feels like maybe it's Brick World Chicago that gets everybody hyped up, to start building again. I don't know if that's for me or if that's why I'm hyped up or not. But maybe it's just because there's so much great content out there. I have been watching The Bad Batch, so I haven't left the Star Wars universe either. That show, it's inspiring, but I just wonder how it's going to close. Some of the Bad Batch are going to have to die, right? But I don't know. We'll see how that closes. It's been a good show. It's not like making me jump out of my chair, but it's very dark. It's just different. It's almost like that Kenobi vibe where you're like, man, this is dark and depressing, but at the same time, kind of, you understand it. So, but let's talk about the theme. And I'd like to know in the comments, have you ever had your own dark ages, or have you just been building from the very beginning? I'll tell my story real quick on how I got into Lego, right, in my dark age. And now I've had another mini dark age, right? It only lasted, it's been probably a month and a half, which is my longest kind of not building time that I've had in probably 4 or 5 years. So I restarted my Lego journey in about 2018-ish, 17, 18. My story about how I got back activated into Lego. I mean, I never left Lego technically. Most of the time I would build, back at my parents' house because they saved my collection. I would go back and actually as my sister started having kids, I started having kids. Sometimes the winter break, I would go in the basement and we'd build with all my old castle in space, which I need to do more videos on actually. I've done a couple, but I really need to kick that back into gear. So when the kids were probably in that 6-7-year-old range, I started buying Disney sets for them, went into a Lego store, and I looked over at the Star Wars section, and it was like, holy sugar shack. I mean, there was the carbon freezing chamber with Boba Fett and Han Solo, and then right next to it was the Bounty Hunter Battle Pack. And I was like, whoa, there's like Bossk and Forlom, and Boba Fett was also in that set. And who else? There's somebody else. Oh, Dengar was in that set. So there's 4 really cool bounty hunters. And I was like, wow, those things just look super sweet. And so I ponied up. I had a little extra cash. And then the other thing I did was like, I was more of a a consumer of content, and I kind of went through the different feeds and was like, that's when I got synced up to Jang and started watching Jang reviews, and I was like, wow, Jang reviews, those are really in depth and cool. And then there was this fast talking kid, Mandar Productions or M&R Productions, and I was like, he's kind of like, I didn't really vibe Ryan from M&R Productions at first because he was just kind of this like rapid fire review and fast talking, and I didn't just completely like understand him. But then I was watching a podcast, I think it was called Bricks and Pieces, where it was Just Too Good, Brickitect, M&R Productions, and then they always brought in a guest, right? And one of the first guests that I saw on the show was Shy Time Is My Time. He was talking about his life as a Lego employee and all this kind of stuff in one of the stores. And I was just like, wow, they really balanced themselves out, because Just Too Good kind of had that like more consistent YouTuber, like an ambassador type feel. And Brickitect was kind of my age range, right? He was kind of the 30s, for the voice of the like 30 or 40-year olds, and then kind of that Gen. I don't know. He's not. I don't think he's Gen X, but maybe right around that Gen X. Could probably identify. He's cool like us, the data techs of the Lego world. And then there was M&R, who's just kind of like doing his Star Wars things, really an expert in his field, and I really kind of grew to like his expertise. And the fact is, I love Star Wars, and so I really came to appreciate what he was bringing to the table. So I used the Bricks and Pieces podcast. I would start following. So I jumped into the Brickitect community. I jumped into the M&R community a little bit, which was a little hard because his community was just so vast and big. And then I started jumping into who else? Shy Time is My Time. And then I think, did they have Ben Rollman on it? But I think they had him on once because they were talking about microfighters or something like that. And I was like, wow, I love microfighters, actually. So that's when I got into Ben, but I got into Shy. And then I remember adding people in. I don't know if Hive was a guest. I think he probably was. But then I started using that to kind of branch my way out into the community. So then I became into the Brickitect community, and now many of you may have been still to this day are from the Brickitect family tree. Some may be in the M&R family tree. Shy Time is My Time. I don't know. There's a few potential out there, but at the end of the day, it's been really fun. And so one of the things I really miss about not being in the community just for this last month and a half, and I tell people this, is that I just don't. I feel like I've disconnected a little bit from the community, and there's so many people, just thousands and thousands of you out there on YouTube, doing your thing, doing better content than I am. My main thing is that Brickitect was like, just put yourself out there. And again, I'm not here to necessarily monetize, although I would like to have some portion of the funds go to more sets, right? Because costs in Lego is just such an expensive hobby, and I don't have. I mean, I'm an adult, so I could go and buy whatever I wanted to, but is that a responsible thing to do? So I have to be very budget in mind with my buying. Many of my sets, I know it looks like I have a ton, but I've done favors or things where I've earned gift cards. I've birthdays, Christmas. I've set aside, I've saved, $10 here, $20 there, slowly over time to buy some of the bigger sets. I've really kind of scraped and done a lot of things. One really big thing, and I have this in all of my videos, if you haven't gotten into buying and selling anything, I really encourage it. It's not for everybody. It takes a little bit of time to kind of get it down pat, whether you want to do eBay, Bricklink. I use Mercari. They just got rid of seller fees, which really doesn't do anything. If anything, it means you have to sell it less, but then I guess you take less of a hit. I don't know. It's kind of two, one and the same, right? So, but that's really helped me to get a lot of the things that I missed in the Star Wars universe since I had my previous Dark Age. And I would say, so going back to my original Dark Age, right? So I was pretty heavy into Lego. I don't really know the exact date that I just started fading, but I think video games and just getting into more of high school mode. So like middle school, it probably had like where I was starting to fade, where I would just build every once in a while, and I wasn't really buying sets, right? So I never caught on to some of the themes past like Castle. I got into a little bit of Pirate, and then things just kind of dropped. And so I think it is around like high school, where I don't think I bought any sets in high school. I think all my money and time and energy was focused on either some form of Nintendo, or it was on, actually the PC was a big one, right? I got into PC gaming, and then I did the same thing in college. And in college, at least back then, I don't think anybody was doing Lego. And it's probably hard going to a dorm room. Oh, hi, I'm building Lego on the weekends. Like, that's really cool. I mean, it would be fun now. I would love to have a weekend of just building Lego. Dang, where was I? I needed to, like, I was missing out in college. If we would have sat and just built Lego, man, that would have been so much more productive than just drinking ourselves stupid and eating tons of pizza, which you could build Lego and eat lots of pizza and drink at the same time. I mean, whatever. But I don't know. I guess you get into the whole mode of just like going out partying with with the guys and the girl and chasing girls, and you just kind of just get caught up in all that stuff, and so Lego just doesn't happen. And then even out of college, it's the same thing. You're just kind of adulting, and you're not really thinking of, I really wasn't doing any hobbies. It was my hobbies for a little while was, again, back to gaming. Pretty much I did Star Wars Galaxies, I did Guild Wars, I did all these like really immersive games that take up lots of time. I think I do have a propensity to get sucked up into these different games. That's where if I want to keep making content, you have to, I also found that, this is also a game of momentum, right? Once you kind of get in the habit of doing things, it's easier to kind of keep that going. As soon as you stop the momentum, it's really difficult. Like in life today, I would love to get in better shape. I've had a really hard time getting that off the ground. I did get it off the ground a little bit. That actually was part of the factor early spring why I wasn't able to do as much building. It kind of got me off track a little bit because I was in a step challenge again, and I was kind of half in the step challenge. But at the same time, that really does make it hard because you can't just sit here when you're in a step challenge. Then you're losing time, and you just can't. But I do need to. Those are the goals for the summer: is to get back into building, at least build some momentum. I think I need to be careful of trying to put out like a video every day. I don't really need to. I just need to slowly keep doing this journal entry, keep kind of like tabs on my, my evolving journey, right? As it's changing, I'm getting more into MOCs, although I've got a huge backlog of sets. I would say in the next couple years, I might redo this room. So I would love to get more like better lighting and love to get better, the shelving and everything all situated and more ideal, which makes it really tough. It slows me down quite a bit not having the right amount of shelf space. So all those kind of factors put me into my little mini dark age. So, but again, it was my kids that got me out. The other huge factor that kind of pulled me out of the dark age was the Lego movie was a big deal, I think. I think the Lego movie really kind of popularized Lego in such a format, and then Lego's Masters really just kind of brings it home. I don't know if Lego Masters is quite as popular. Yeah, maybe. I mean, there's a lot of designers, a lot of great ones that have come from it, and just a lot of cool people. And so I look forward to potentially seeing them at Brickworld Chicago, which is kind of the hidden secret. If you didn't catch that, you've made it this far, and now you know that I will be going to Brickworld Chicago, but only those who have made it this far will know. Otherwise, you have to wait till the next video. So with that, thank you so much for following me. Thank you for sticking me through the dark times and then the light times of Lego. It's a fun journey. I'm not stopping. Just a little bump in the road, a little dark bump in the road, but we're back. I'm back building. I've got 2 MOCs that I'm going to be, I've been working on for periodically. I'm going to be kind of doing them. The plan is, I'll save that for another video. You'll have to watch another video. So thank you so much. Make sure to like, subscribe, all those things, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Journal Entry. Bye for now. We're back.